Thanks for logging on to myfoxhurricane.com. So through the month of June, the areas that we're always focusing in on is really across the Gulf of Mexico, the Western Caribbean, also along the Atlantic, right along the eastern seaboard. Very prime location. A lot of the time, it's these old frontal boundaries that we see these systems developing on. But as you look at the satellite view over the area right now, notice the areas that we're watching. We're watching down across the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, and then also this Invest 90, which is currently moving over the state. That'll be working its way over into the Atlantic, and that's where we may see some development over the next several days. So first stop here, this is an area just kind of being highlighted by the Hurricane Center down across the Bay of Campeche. This is going to continue to drift slowly on towards the north and the northwest. In the short term, still not expecting to see anything develop. We could see something developing down in this area as we head through the weekend and into the first part of next week, but that does look like it will be heading over into Mexico. The other area that we've obviously been talking about is this Invest 90. Brought very heavy rains across Florida yesterday. We're still seeing some very heavy rains just to our south across southern Florida, down into, say, southern Sarasota County, down towards Fort Myers. In fact, Sarasota picking up just huge amounts of rain yesterday as this worked its way through. They actually set a rainfall record, 3.93 inches of rain in 1 hour. Some areas picking up about a foot of rain yesterday as this worked its way through. But this area will continue to work its way over into the Atlantic, and that's where more and more of the models are really starting to show we could see some slow development. Nice news is it would be moving away from us. It'd be moving over open waters. But in the short term, here is the satellite combined with the wind shear, and we still have that very strong wind shear over this system. That's the big key to what is inhibiting this system from developing, and will hold it back over the next couple of days. Eventually, as it moves a bit further to the east, it will start to move into an area where it's maybe a little bit more conducive for development, but it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. As you look across the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, you notice here, we're into an area where there is lighter wind shear, so conditions are a little more favorable that we could see some development in that area. So here we're looking at the European, the GFS, and our own Fox model, watching this area work its way into the Atlantic. And all three of these models are now starting to come into agreement that we could see some development. It will be slow, but we could see some development. Here we are, Friday afternoon, working its way towards the north and the northeast. We'll have to watch to see how much development we see. Do we actually get a name system or a tropical depression out of this? But regardless, it will continue to basically work its way over open waters, moving towards the northeast. It looks like it would still stay fairly weak, but we'll watch it closely. Now, also, we would be focusing in on the Gulf of Mexico. You can see just that general idea of lower pressure down across the Gulf of Mexico. Here it is on the Fox model. First thing, you've got the Invest 90 working its way over into the Atlantic. And then as you look down across the southern and southwestern Gulf of Mexico, there you see that developing system, or the potentially developing system down there as we head through the weekend and into the first part of next week. So obviously we've got more to watch here as we go through the next several days, and we'll keep you updated right here on myfoxhurricane.com.